And so, yeah, I thought I would just talk to you. And I've got a bunch of questions. Oh, hey, Arlen. Hey, everybody. But I've got a bunch of questions from you guys, so I'm going to start with those, and then, thank you very much. Oh, he doesn't know much. In fact, if you go back to season 4, where he starts to tell Tariq about his history, he doesn't tell him any of those things. Okay, I'm gonna answer a few questions that I already have. So, would you say Tariq is suffering from PTSD? Okay, so you guys have watched the first episode. Yes, that's part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to talk about him being kind of traumatized by what he's gone through. Whoever said please sell some power clothing. These aren't for sale, but I really do love this shirt. I don't know if you guys can read it or not. Okay. But here's the thing. Someone else asked me, why is he more traumatized over the Jabari death than he is over his father? That's not actually true. What's happening is that all the cumulative effect of all the horrible things that he's seen is all coming together in this difficulty with having to pretend that he didn't murder someone the night before. I will just say that when he killed his father, he talked to, and now he doesn't have anybody, and that's actually part of what we were trying to dramatize as well. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to ask a couple questions. I hope Starz releases the deleted scenes from Power. I wish we could. I would really love that. I actually would love to have you guys see the deleted scenes. For whatever reasons, we could not do it. It had something to do with affiliates, something to do with we couldn't share that material because I wanted to put it on the Starz app, and that didn't work out. Okay, so let's see. Someone put, please don't bombard this live with ghost questions, please. For those of you who are tuning in and are planning to ask me if Ghost is still alive, y'all, come on, man. All right. So, okay. Will we see Tasha at all this season? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you who's coming back. I'm not going to tell you about anybody who's coming back. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Is Ghost or Tommy going to appear in Raising Kane in their younger selves? Right now, we're actually in the timeline way too early for that to happen. But that final decision will be made by Sasha Penn, certainly, and he and I will talk about it. Let's see. Imagine if I killed Tariq and Tasha off at the end of season 1. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see. I want to know who created Tommy and was there an inspiration for the character. Okay, so the original pilot of Power, I wrote that. And the inspiration for the character was actually, I was making a character who was the opposite of Ghost in almost every iteration. I mean, in every character point, kind of. But he was also inspired a little bit by my relationship with my aunt, Johnny Brown, who died season 2 of this show, but she was my godmother and took really good care of me. And then also my best friend, who is the godmother to my daughter. And so, all that. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to look at some of these. How many seasons will Power Book Ghost get? It's so good. I hope it gets a lot. That's up to Starz. As you guys well know, I don't actually work at that network or that studio anymore. But I'm hoping that your enthusiasm is going to push them to continue to keep the show on the air. It's really actually up to y'all. You have to keep watching. Does Tariq love Diana? Oh, man. Other way around, son. Let's see. Okay. Will Tariq finally see why Ghost didn't want him in the life? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that is something that Tariq starts to really learn about himself and what the cost of the game is. Certainly in season 3, which we actually started working on before I left, we will start to address some of that. Okay. Let's see. Will Yasmin ever figure out who her brother really is? I would love to see that. I would love to see Tariq and Kane's relationship develop. That's definitely happening this season. Season 2 is a lot about Tariq and Kane. Out of all the shows, which was your personal favorite to create? Well, I guess when I created Power, I actually didn't know what I was doing. I was 35. I didn't know. I was just trying to make the best pilot I could make so they would pick up the series. I think that's probably the easiest version. I obviously, Power Book 2 Ghost is definitely super close to my heart. And the journey of writing that pilot was really special. But I think I'd have to go with Power Book 1. Okay. Let's see. Why wasn't Ramona at Ghost's funeral? Tommy either. I think you guys know some of that. But Ramona, actually, I think the actress was working. Hold on one sec. Okay. Just trying to look at more of these. Let's see. Where am I working now? Netflix. I have accepted a deal on Netflix, so I'm starting to come up with new shows. Let's see. Should I even say this one? Where is Ghost? I'm asking against the predictions that Tariq had said Ghosts never die. I mean, Okay, I want to see Drew go crazy. Definitely, that's something that will happen this season. Drew is really angry. Really angry about what has happened to him. What's going to happen to Professor Milgram? Oh my God, Carrie's story this season is wild. It is wild. I cannot wait. I see Paris's mom, Paris, who plays Yasmin now. She's on Hello. What's the first show you're working on Netflix? I can't tell anybody yet. Is Kane Tejada really Kane's son? No. Their names are really close. Okay, so let me explain this, because 50 actually pointed this out, and I didn't even think about it. Kane's nickname is a shortening of Hurricane, which is the character's nickname when he was a kid. Has nothing to do with Kanan at all. Let's see. Okay. Looking for more. I hope Carrie really develops. She does. Diana definitely develops. Okay, let's see. Does effing Lauren and Diana find out that Tariq has been playing them all along? You guys have to wait to see how our love rectangle kind of develops. It's going to be really fun. Let's see. Why did Tariq keep the phone? That's a good question. Tariq kept the phone because it's his last connection to Tasha. I hope we did a good enough job of showing that he's not quite his father yet. That really is actually, a little bit of our story, is that we don't want to dramatize Tariq like he always knows exactly what he's doing. So in episode 1, obviously he knows exactly what he's doing when he's talking to Sweeney, and he kind of dresses him down and he's like, nah. But when it comes to his heart and certain decisions that he's going to make, he's definitely going to make a lot of, mistakes. He has to. He's only 19 or 20. Let's see. How did I come up with the soundtrack for the first episode of season 2? I didn't do that exactly. The whole soundtrack is obviously, Big Tank, and we work together. But in terms of the controversial treatment of who that boy, that I have to say was my idea. And if you hated it, it was my idea. Blame me. And if you loved it, it was my idea. Cheer me on. But yeah, people were split, definitely. Would I consider expanding the world to different regions of the world with similar storylines? It's, for example, Nigeria. You know what? What's interesting about that is I would love to do a show based in Nigeria. I think, over Netflix, we would definitely try to look at doing something like that. I want to represent all of us. Do you still write the show in the future, even though the deal is with Netflix? I remain an executive producer, but I won't be writing. Let's see. You are guys are predictable. She ain't answering no ghost alive or coming back questions. Give it up, please. LOL. My friend. We still can't let Ghost go. I understand. Okay. All right, let's see. What's going to happen to Method Man? Okay, so the Davis McLean character this season goes through really cool, ups and downs. Does, an interesting kind of, first initiation with Sax, but he has another agenda, and that agenda has to do with his brother, who's obviously played by Redman, and you guys are going to learn much more about that. Let's see, how involved am I in Raising Kanan? I'm an executive producer on that show, but Sasha Penn is the showrunner, for sure. I kind of weigh in on the scripts when they're finished and weigh in on the cuts as they go through and we see them. But I'm not there on set day to day. That's Sasha. Power After Hour. That also, I believe, is not happening this year. Okay. Tell us how Lauren's character will evolve. Well, I will say this. Everyone who is in Tariq's life pays a price for that, emotionally. You know, I don't mean to imply anything else, but, you know, you can get your feelings hurt by Tariq. Why did it take so long to discover Jabari's body? It's actually overnight. Episode 201 and 110 are one day apart. Let's see. Is someone from Raising Kanan going to make an appearance in present day on Ghost? We don't have plans for that. Okay. Let's see. Who's the new writer for Power Book 2 Ghost? Oh, okay. So the new showrunner of Power Book 2 Ghost is Brett Mahoney, who is a longtime friend of mine. Brett was the showrunner of Empire for the last 3 seasons. So I'm encouraging him to get an IG so he can meet all of you and we can do a live together next week. Will we ever get the Power movie? Those of you who are longtime fans know I wanted to do a Power movie between seasons 3 and 4. Stars was like, nah. And so I don't know if that'll ever happen. I hope so. Let's see. Okay. Will Tariq ever tell Braden the truth? Stay tuned. Let's see. Will Sax kill anyone? Stay tuned. Is Redman really sick like Charlie Murphy was? As far as I know, Redman is fine. But the character is ill. Let's see. For those of you who like to hate, why are you here? Hey. Hey, so everybody, the Trace Weston, who is who's played by Corey Giacomo, is here. He just signed in. Let's see. Will I still do the Power episode breakdowns at the end of each episode? No, I will not be doing that this year. According to Stars, people didn't watch them, so they didn't want to do them this year. But I thought I would get on here and do this for you guys, and I'll just try to do this every Tuesday, and see if we can, if you guys have questions. Do I have any thoughts or ideas about a show with a female lead? Please stay tuned to Netflix for that. It's coming. Let's see. Okay. It seems like Princess Diana, I love this. Silky Smooth J, love that you called her Princess Diana. And Drew are getting a little tired of Monet's heavy hand. It seems like they want to take more control of their lives. Absolutely. One of the things about Monet, we fight in the writer's room all the time about whether or not she's a good mother. I think she's a great mom, but of course, that's just me. We can debate about that for sure. But definitely she's been ruling them with like an iron fist, right? So they're starting to buck a little bit, for sure. Let's see. Are prequel shows hard to do since you have to go through the original show and make sure information lines up correctly? Yes, especially on the Power universe, because y'all will tell us if we mess up. I have no doubt that all y'all will be like, listen, you screwed that up. I had one time that a commenter on IG really burned me good. Like I had actually made a real mistake. I don't remember what it was. But so ever since then, I've been kind of, watching myself for sure. But yes, we do have to do that. Let's see. Okay. For those of you guys who are saying things like you want to send me ideas and things like that, I don't really take unsolicited pitches. Just 50 and I have been sued like a million times by various people who say the Power is their idea. And so I just am like, from that experience, I've just learned not to accept like unsolicited pitches. And we have to go through companies and agents and things like that so that we can have some, what's yours, what's mine, those kind of things. So I'm not going to read a pitch for something that's sent to me in my DMs and things like that. There's just no legal protection for either one of us, by the way. It's not just about me, it's also about you. If you have a pilot or something that you've written, you have to register that with the Writers Guild. I will just tell you guys a million times, register your pilot with the Writers Guild. Don't send it to people. Do not send your written pilot to people just like cold. You're not going to get a show on the air that way, but you can get your material stolen. Please, please, please register it with the Writers Guild if you have a pilot. What's the difference between EP and showrunner? The showrunner is the boss of the whole show. That person also has an executive producer title, but there can be many, many, many other EPs. Let's see. Okay. will Tommy ever show up in Ghost again? I would never, ever, 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 ever tell anyone whether or not that's going to happen. Oh, thank you for whoever said love that lip color. It is a mix of MAC Film Noir and Tom Ford Scarlet Rouge. Okay. Were the last 2 episodes of the first season for Ghost what you wanted them to be with the pandemic and everything? No, we had like a big scene planned with a lot of extras and we got rid of that. Let's see. Okay. Will Braden become like Tommy? Braden is not like Tommy. He's Tariq's best friend, but I think that's where kind of the comparisons kind of fall apart after that, because Braden is a rich kid who's privileged, who wants to dabble in the life. Whereas Tommy was a person who grew up just like Ghost, and he really embodied, especially for the first, I'd say 4 seasons of the show, embodied like the life, if the life were a person, right? So it's not really that Braden's going to become like Tommy, but Braden is going to find as he grows that this life is something that he's attracted to, that he grows to love. Let's see. Don't like watching without Ghost, stop watching. Well, but you're here. I'm so confused. Okay. Why is the season not all up there? That's not how Stars works. We drop 1 episode at a time. It doesn't have, it's not like Netflix. Let's see. How often are you asked about Ghost's death in your personal life? I told you guys about how many times I've been asked by people. It's a lot. I have a funny story about a date that I could tell you guys about, but I won't embarrass that person by telling you. All right, let's see. Please get on live every week. That is the plan. Okay. Let's see. Will we see Lisa Marie again? I would love to definitely bring her back if I could, but I won't be there. So hopefully, I'll suggest it. Why did Tariq pick up the phone? Oh, you guys are thinking like he's thinking like a criminal at that moment. He's not. He's thinking like a son. And I think that's exactly what we're trying to dramatize. Are we getting a Proctor prequel? Oh my God, I would love to do that. That would be so amazing. Okay, Courtney, how did you write Power? Because we have the original, then Ghost, then Raising Kane, and soon Tommy's show. Did you write them like that? Well, we didn't intend for them to come out exactly the way they're coming out because the pandemic kind of screwed it up. But yes, Power first, and then when we started to talk about what the plan was for the sequels or for the universe, 50 was very wise and strong and said that he really wanted to do a Tommy spinoff. I really wanted to continue Tariq's story. And then the Raising Kanan idea came out of 50 and I both love Goodfellas. And so it came out of that conversation for sure. Let's see. And influence, I want to do a Black West Wing. Okay, let's see. Does Tariq suffer from fear of abandonment? This is somebody who's doing their work. Oh, Millionaire 6S. What's a Writers Guild? Writers Guild of America, WGA. Google it. It is our union as screenwriters, and they have a system where you can register a script. You don't have to be part of the union to register it. Who's my favorite character out of all the shows from Power to BMF? I don't work on BMF, actually. I work on the Power universe. BMF is actually not part of that. 50 produces that with the showrunner, Randy Huggins, who was a close friend of mine and actually worked on Power for the first 3 years. But who's my favorite character? I love Tariq, but I always loved Tariq. Even when y'all hated Tariq, I loved Tariq. But right now, I'll tell you, who's, and Monet is really fun. Obviously, Davis McLean is really fun. But I'll say this, and I've always said it, I loved writing Holly. And similarly, I actually really love writing Effie. There's something about that I really love. Okay. When did Tasha's mom become an alcoholic? That surprised me. Go back and watch season 1. And also, if you've done any grief or trauma work yourself, you know that people always kind of marry their parents. And so one of the things that we wanted to dramatize for sure is that why did she pick Ghost in the first place? Okay. Will my shows on Netflix be like Power? I mean, I don't know. I haven't decided. Let's see. Few people are still asking about Ghost. Okay. Can you put some Jamaicans in Power? What was your original plan for Ghost to kill Angie before I decided to switch it to Tommy? That is a long time fan. There were a lot of people who wanted Ghost to kill Angela because she was potentially a snitch and a problem. But I didn't feel like he would ever do that. I just didn't feel like that Ghost would do that. I felt like that love was a real love. And that even though he needed to do it, he wouldn't do it. So we switched it to Tommy, and I think that was the best one. Let's see. How hard of a decision was it to kill off Ghost? I mean, I've said this before. You know, we told you guys that it was going to be, he was going to end up either dead or in jail. So does the show reflect my personal life in any way? Oh, for sure. For sure. There are pieces of my personal life in all the characters. There are pieces of my personal life in certainly some of the things that have happened. You know, I've been Lakeisha. I've been Tasha. I've been different versions of these women. I've been Monet. You know, I've made some mistakes. Certainly in my college years, I've been Lauren. So, you know, that is what it is. So I definitely want to express some of those feelings. And I'd say that there's a lot of me in Ghost too, you know? So there definitely have been some things. Okay, let's see. Can we get a Ghost, Tommy, Tasha, and Angela prequel with each perspective in it, please? Okay, so I've talked about this before, but I'm going to just address it since it's coming up again. There's not going to be any kind of Ghost, Tasha, Angela, Tommy prequel, at least with me involved, because I don't feel like a prequel with those characters gives you any insight, considering that you know how they end up. You can't kill any of them because you know exactly where they end up. You know, for example, that Angela leaves their high school and goes to Choate when they're 15, and she doesn't even say goodbye to Ghost. That's already in there. So what is that story? There's no story to tell. She goes off to Connecticut. So there's not a lot of that. Then Tasha is actually younger than Tommy and Ghost, so you'd have to wait a while for her to be of even age. So there's really, it's like, you would have to bust up canon in order to do it. I know what you guys are thinking, but it's not going to be like a Riverdale with those 4 people in it. And so I just want to say, like, in terms of storytelling and storytelling rules, and the fact that I want to keep it 100 with the fans, like the real fans want it to track. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay, I'm going to stop answering Ghost questions. What is my ultimate goal as a writer? To make things that people enjoy. Let's see. I still hate Tariq. Respect. Hold it down. Okay. Let's see. Which actor is the most different from his character? On Power Book 2 Ghost, I'd have to say that is a tie between Michael Rainey Jr. and Woody McLean. Like, they are nothing like those people. Like, Michael Rainey Jr. is like the sweetest, most lovely kid. I love Tariq, but Tariq is a liar and all these things, and Michael's not any of that. And then Woody is like this very serious actor, writer. You know, he is a producer. He's just like this incredible artist. And then when you know, Kane is what Kane is, right? So, okay, let's see. How would Monet feel about Braden, and will they meet? Stay tuned. Will you work with actors from Power on your shows on Netflix? Anybody who's dead, I will be calling you. So when is my Breakfast Club interview? You guys have to hit Charlemagne and ask him, because he hasn't asked me. Okay. Will Tasha die off screen? I wouldn't do that to y'all. I would not do that to y'all at all. Okay. Let's see. Oh my God, the ghost questions. All right. Why did I choose Tariq to kill Ghost? That's actually a great question. I think it's, it's Shakespeare. I'm always doing Shakespeare, some version of Shakespeare, and I thought that was the most important thing. Also, when you talk about superhero rules of who can kill who, you kind of, you guys already know. It had to be either Tasha or Tariq or Tommy, but I think that you all would have, absolutely burned my house down if it had been Tommy. And I understand that. Okay, let's see. Who is most likely to break while filming? We actually don't have a lot of that. But what I will say is Michael Rainey Jr. and Gianni Paolo have a lot of fun together. Like, they are real friends in real life, and they laugh a lot on set. Let's see. Can we expect from Diana and Drew's characters this season? Both of those kids are going to go and grow into their own. They're both tremendous actors. And so those kind of things you're going to see. You're going to see them come into opposition and in alignment with the larger family as well. Is Ghost and Kane brother? No. Will Tariq and Braden be at Effie's college a lot? Not a lot. Who will Tariq try to blame for Jabari's death? You actually already know the answer to this question. I will just remind you that it is Ramirez. Let's see. How do I feel about Kanan's mother, Raquel Thomas? Oh my God. I love Patina Miller. She's a genius at what she does. She's amazing. Let's see. Kane is my favorite character right now. I can relate to him. Ooh, you need a hug. Kane needs a hug right now. Let's see. Okay. Trying to see if there's any. Oh, okay. So, any advice for getting a start in television entertainment on the writing cinema side? Try to get a job as a writer's PA or a writer's assistant in a writer's room. Why does Kane have so much hate for Tariq? He really can't stand him. Well, Kane is actually really interesting because he's such a mama's boy. And so he gets threatened by Tariq because Monet sees worth in him. It's not mature. It's not a mature thing. But will you put Power Book 2 on Netflix for the fans? It doesn't work that way. That show, Power Book 2, the entire Power universe is owned by stars. You can't move things around just because you feel like it, sadly. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Wow, this is a real fan. Will we see a return of the Taínos and Soldado Nation under the leadership of Cristobal and Roberto? I love you. There aren't any plans for that yet, but that is a great pitch. That is a great pitch. Let's see. Okay. All right. Whose POV was real in Power Season 6, Episodes 10 through 15? Well, they were all real, but if you mean who actually pulled the trigger, that's Tariq. So Tariq and Tasha's stories were played fair entirely. Angela should have been the one to kill Ghost. Oh. Okay. Let's see. How does a showrunner's pay work? Is it based on viewers, etc.? Not exactly. So the first year of Power, I was paid a salary per episode, which is what you usually get paid per episode. So there were 8 episodes, so I got paid that check 8 times. Season 2, I got that paid slightly bigger check 10 times. And then you do something called an overall deal. And the amount of money you get paid in the overall deal is based on how well your show did. So it's not based on viewers, like literally. There's no like this many viewers equals this many dollars. But like anything else that's popular, you get to charge more for your services if your services are enjoyed by a lot of people. Let's see. Why did Tasha leave her baby girl with her mom? Because Tasha was on the run. Will we see Simon Stern again? I would love that. Okay. Will we see more of who Lorenzo is as a parent? It seems like him and Drew Diana are close. Would love to see his interaction with his kids. That definitely is coming. You are going to see more of that for sure. Will Tariq graduate from college? Not this season. Okay. Does Braden's sister like Tariq? We haven't decided what we're going to do there yet. We have some ideas. I want to see how Kane met Ghost and Tommy. That's through Breeze. I see it's hard to get a question answered for me. If I'm not answering your question, it's because it's a question that I either can't answer or don't want to answer based on what it is. So if your questions are specifically, is Ghost alive? That kind of question, yeah, I'm probably not going to answer it. Is Cash's character done? I never said that. Okay. Let's see. Who is Effie's brother, and did we see him in Original Power? We did not see him in Original Power. Let's see. Does Tariq genuinely love Diana, Lauren, or Effie? Tariq can love. What a very interesting thing. Do you guys think Tariq can love? Do you think, given the trauma of his background, do you think he can love? Do you think that's a possibility for him? Do you think he can love with an open heart and be present? Because I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I'm going to do, I think, 2 or 3 more questions. Almost every time Tariq puts his hood on, someone dies. Is that intentionally similar when Ghost did the same? This is someone who's paying attention, who's paying a lot of attention, and not necessarily. But yeah, which do I like writing, fiction or nonfiction? I'm a fiction girl. I don't love writing nonfiction. I don't love inspired by a true story stuff. I don't love that. Especially because my understanding of fans and how they work is that they're immediately going to go and research what actually happened and then tell you where you got it wrong. I'm cool. I'm good. I'll make people up. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I'm glad you like the classroom discussions in Ghost. That's really fun for us to do. I used to love Head of the Class when I was a kid. How do you know when to add certain music into certain scenes? Well, that's actually a really interesting question. And one, Big Tank Music does a great job. But I would say, for me, it's always about, not score. I'm not talking about score. I'm just talking about songs. I really pay attention to lyrics. Where lyrically is the song going and what is it meaning? And so then you have to kind of find that moment where the audience needs more. That's what I always look at. It's like, where do you need more? Okay. Someone is suggesting Ghost is alive in all of us Power fans. That's hilarious, Stars Power Heaven, that's what I should say. There's nothing I can say that can stop people from asking. Let's see. I wonder if there's any... How much of my father was put into creating Ghost? A lot. A lot. Okay. Who taught Monet the game? That's Lorenzo. All I want in this show is for Diana and Tariq to get a happy ending, but I know y'all won't do that. You don't know that. You don't know that. Okay. Will we see Tariq's sister have a dark side? Right now she's 9. So, doubtful. Oh, Andy Bean. I miss you, Andy Bean. Love you so much. You guys, that's Greg. Greg is in the building. Andy Bean official is here. So that's awesome. What was the perfect song was the one played at Angela's funeral. That was beautiful, but I can't remember what it was. I will have to come back and post that for you guys. Okay, I'm going to get off this at 5:45. So I got 3 more minutes. Let me see if there's any new questions. Oh, I think I'm all out. Okay. I'm all out. Shout out Greg Knox. Absolutely. Oh, someone asked me, was Stars nervous about Ghost being killed off? No, not really, because it was the end of the show. I mean, everybody knew I was ending that series. So no, because it wasn't like everyone knew we were going to do a universe and all that stuff. So no. And frankly, I was surprised by the reaction because I I told everyone he's going to be dead or in jail. And I think that it was really surprising to me that everyone was like, no, we would have preferred jail. But I guess it's because he could have gotten out of jail, or, you could imagine that something else could happen. But so, yeah. I think, let me see, if there are two more. Any script I regret writing after? No. I tried to live my life spiritually without a lot of regrets. So, I have them. Everybody has them. But spiritually, I try not to. I'm trying to see if there's any of these questions. How many episodes this season? 10. Do I feel like Tariq regrets killing Jabari? No, I think he regrets having to kill, but not that particular person. Let's see. Do you ever think you will need an older Tariq? No. I think we'll age the character with Michael Rainey. So no, he's going to be that. We find out who Davis's wife is this season. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, so a little behind the scenes. I had an entire idea for who was Marilyn. I knew what actress I wanted to play her and all those things. We just didn't have space. We just absolutely didn't have space. But I had a whole idea. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but I thought it was going to be so fun and funny and like really great for people who are my age. If you're in your mid-40s, it would have been a really big gas to see Method Man married to this person specifically, but we didn't get to do it. Let's see. Okay. What do I want everyone to take away from this season? Wow, that's a really great question and a great one to end on. I just want people to have fun. I'm not really, the larger truth is always going to be about Tariq and his dad, right? It's always going to be that. That's why the show is called Ghost. It's over there. Because that's what the show is about. So, hopefully people take away more of Tariq's journey and how just wonderful, we're trying to give a story about someone coming of age. There aren't a lot of Black coming of age stories. That's not out there so much. For whatever reason, we never get that opportunity. We never get to be the person at the center of the story with the coming of age. So that's something that I really, really wanted to do for us, and hope to do that again with female characters or with non-binary characters as I move into other storytelling. But for us as Black people, we don't really get this. I've never seen, since obviously Hillman College, and obviously all respect to dear white people, having that ability to do this kind of coming of age story in our world, which is really violent. Obviously, it was this very specific kind of collegiate experience, was really important to me. So, especially where they're reading books also, someone said, and yes, absolutely. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you coming today and watching the show, and I'll be back. I'll be back next week. Okay, bye.